The Israel-Palestine conflict is one of the most long-standing and contentious conflicts in the world. The conflict dates to World War I when British needed Jewish support against Ottoman Empire and they wanted to establish an ally state to protect Suez Canal that was its route to India. So British proclaimed Balfour Declaration of 1917, which promised a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, then under British control. This declaration sparked a conflict between Jewish and Arab communities in the region, which has continued to this day. In 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan that would create separate Jewish and Arab states in the region, with Jerusalem as an international city. The plan was accepted by Jewish leaders but rejected by Arab leaders, and it led to a war between the two sides in 1948. Israel declared its independence that same year, and the Arab-Israeli conflict was born. Over the years, negotiations have taken place in various forms, with different parties mediating the discussions. The Oslo Accords of 1993, the Camp David Summit of 2000, and the Annapolis Conference of 2007 are just a few examples of these negotiations. However, none of these efforts have resulted in a lasting solution to the conflict. One of the major challenges to a two-state solution is the issue of Israeli settlements in the West Bank. These settlements are considered illegal by most countries, and they make it difficult to establish a contiguous Palestinian state. There is also disagreement over borders, the status of Jerusalem, and the right of return for Palestinian refugees. In this video we will discuss an alternative to two-state solution. Due to failure of two-state solution, the idea of one-state solution is gaining momentum that envisions a single, democratic state that would encompass both Israel and the Palestinian territories. In this solution, Israelis and Palestinians would have equal rights and share power in the government of the new state. A one-state solution means there would be a single federal country made up of pre-1967 Israel, the Gaza Strip, Jerusalem, and the West Bank. Supporters of the one-state solution argue that it is the only way to achieve a lasting peace, as a two-state solution would be difficult to implement due to the complexity of the conflict and the non-contiguous nature of a Palestinian state, which would be impossible to govern and have unequal sovereignty compared to Israel. They believe that a single state would provide a more just and equitable solution for both Israelis and Palestinians. A one-state solution would have all the attributes of a sovereign state. There would be no debate about its borders. The state and its borders would receive international recognition. Many believe that a liberal secular state with a new inclusive identity is the way forward. In such a state, the rights of all citizens, regardless of their ethnicity or religion, would be protected, and there would be no discrimination based on identity. This would require a significant shift in the political and cultural landscape of both Israel and Palestine, as well as a willingness to compromise and work towards a shared future. One possibility is that the one state could be a binational state with reserved communal rights. The national civic identity and the Jewish or Palestinian ethnic identity could both continue. It can be based on new symbols and ideas like a new flag or mutual recognition of dual symbols. In addition, Jewish-only settlements would no longer be able to exclude Palestinians from living in them since the Holy Land will be equal for all. Challenges to the idea of one-state solution. One of the main challenges is Israel's self-definition as a Jewish state. Israeli policies that favor Jews in areas such as migration, housing, and employment would need to be relinquished for true equality to be achieved. Another challenge is the issue of the law of return, which gives Jews around the world the right to become citizens of Israel. This law reinforces Jewish superiority and apartheid-like conditions in the country, and it may be difficult to reconcile with the creation of a non-Jewish state. Opponents of a one-state solution also argue that cultural and political differences between Israelis and Palestinians make it difficult to form a functioning government. They believe that a one-state solution would undermine their national identity and compromise their security and social fabric. The issue of the Palestinian right of return is another significant challenge. Many Palestinians claim a right to return to their homes and land from pre-1948 known as the Nakba, which is rooted in their collective trauma. However, the influx of even a small percentage of these refugees would significantly impact the Palestinian share of the population and could lead to Jewish minority in Israel. Critics argue that this would erode the dream of Jewish supremacy in terms of governance in the long run, and the state would collapse economically as the Israeli Jewish intelligentsia would likely emigrate to Europe and USA if they feel unsafe. It's important to consider both the pros and cons of each proposed solution and to find a solution that ensures the safety, security, and prosperity of both Israelis and Palestinians. It's a complex issue, but one that requires open and honest dialogue and a willingness to find common ground.